Thank you for joining us this morning. I know there were some other events going on. I think there was a tennis tournament, a farm visit, golf tournament. So thank you for making the decision to be here this morning. I'd like to invite to the stage my two panelists, Emma Banks. Anywhere you like. And Mr. Lloyd Carter. Hi, Lloyd. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Thank you. How are you both?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah,
Good.
very well.
Before we get started, I'd like to give you a couple of minutes just to introduce yourselves. No introductions are probably necessary, but just for the few that might not know who you guys are, please, if you could introduce yourselves to the room, that would be great.
After you, Emma.
Okay, hi, I'm Emma Banks. I'm the Vice President of Food and Development Strategy at Hilton, aka glorified waitress. Yeah, and I'm also, being like James, a loyal GRIF advisory member, board member for many years, advisory member to FHS, and I'm also I'm a board governor of Dubai College of Tourism and their academic committee. I've been in the region about 10 years, and I've worked in the arena of hospitality for longer than I care to mention up here.
So, my name is Lloyd Carter. I work for IHG Hotels and Resorts. I head up restaurant and bar design and partnerships, and I look after the EMEA region. I've been in the region for 14 years now, and it's been a fantastic journey so far. And thank you very much for having me on the panel today.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, so today we are talking about hotel F&B, and we're thinking beyond the concept of what a traditional hotel F&B typically is. And I think in the past, and we've had this discussion previously, in the past, hotel F&B has always been considered a little bit of a necessary evil, an amenity that you have to just, like a tick box, to make sure that you have for your room rates or for your star ratings. You need to have your all-day diner, you need to have a specialty restaurant. But I was wondering if that is still how it's perceived within your roles, and if not, how has it changed over the years? And maybe, Emma, if you could give us your thoughts first.
Well, I think, first of all, Hilton, were very brave and gambled on me because I hadn't really been in big box hospitality businesses. And, the whole strategy is around adopting a retail mindset to food and drink, as I'd like to call them. And I'd just like to call them restaurants and bars that are located within hotels. So we embarked on a journey of creating a long-term strategy to reposition our food and drink and all our restaurants and bars across EMEA, because frankly speaking, hotels are very much becoming about the public space. Humans, we want to connect. Everybody wants a comfortable room. They want a great shower, Wi-Fi, comfy bed, climate control, a good night's sleep. But then after that, people want to get down to the ground floor. They want to know what's going on in the spaces, the public spaces, be that food and drink or indeed wellness or the sports and wellness facilities. So we've completely signed up to a strategy which is based on 3 pillars. One is, building great base products and services, because we've got nigh on 1,000 restaurants and bars across EMEA. Everything can't be bespoke. Then a strategy about reigniting our culture and getting really proud and engaged across the business, and the narrative from top to bottom around being really engaged around food and drink and believing we can do it. Letting go of that necessary evil and actually being really proud of what we do. And then finally, the icing on the cake around reigniting our mojo and actually having our best restaurants and bars which create that halo effect and that differentiator. And guests now, when they're searching where to stay, they're particularly, they are interested in location and travel, but they want to connect with that sense of place. And food and drink has the ability to take you right to the culture and connect with that place that you're staying in. And so I would say certainly in Hilton, and I would say other big hotel groups as well, are now really taking their food and drink and their restaurant and bar and their leisure. And, you know, let's face it, food and drink is going to face into foodtainment soon. And, you know, we know that there's a whole entertainment, wave hitting us, and food and drink sits within that as well. So I think we really are repositioning and taking it very seriously. It's a big journey. It's an ambitious plan, but we're up for it.
Amazing. Lloyd, what are you seeing in IHG?
Similar sort of thing. I mean, you know, the customer expectations from a food and beverage standpoint now, he's got larger and larger, and the customer just no longer expects a comfy bed and then to a basic breakfast and then leave and eat elsewhere. I think as hoteliers, we have a great opportunity as this region continues to grow to really develop brilliant standard food and beverage offers, and to have those in and around our hotels. If we look across the region as to what's happening, you know, the investment in great culinary concepts and culinary talent across not just the UAE but Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt. You know, the development within this area is vast, and there's lots of opportunity. And we just looked down the road at Saudi Arabia, and they're investing in attractions, and, you know, next level experiences are coming that way. And and again, that will raise the culinary credentials of that market. So you know, great testimony to the UAE. You know, with those guides coming this year, you know, with Michelin in Dubai. You think about, they would not be in this market if culinary standards weren't at the right level. So yeah, great opportunity to grow.
And all this change that's happening so quickly, how's that affecting your approach to your strategy, to your design, to your concept creation?
Well, look, if we just focus on luxury and lifestyle, because that's the area of the IHG business that we're focused on growing. There's signature signature restaurants in those spaces where we can really have a great opportunity to drive food and beverage on further forward, to expand our portfolio of legacy culinarians that have been part of the Intercontinental brand, for example, in the past. You know, you look at Pierre Gagne, Jason Atherton, Theo Randall. These culinarians have been a part of the Intercontinental brand for a while, and as we talk to other partners and other restaurateurs, the future's bright. You know, we're very excited to be able to bring in more restaurateurs to our portfolio, and also grow our luxury brand portfolio here with the launch of Regent, for example. Regent Hotels is all about iconic locations, 5-star, world-class food and beverage. Kimpton, it says it in the name, Kimpton Restaurants, Kimpton Hotel and Restaurants. Again, rockstar, 5-star food and beverage offer. And we're really excited to bring those two brands to the Middle East.
Fantastic. Emma, how has that affected your approach, all this change, in terms of the last few months, since you joined? What's been your approach to managing that change?
Well, first of all, I've been very fortunate to put an absolutely legendary first-class team together.
It does help.
Most of my team have all come from outside hotel restaurants and bars. So, you know, we brought a team together that have brought that independent mindset, that know-how. We put together a strategy. We've engaged the business, and you know, we had the pandemic to deal with, but 3.5, 4 years in, we are very much around making sure that we're executing the strategy around, as I said, you know, providing great base products for the core hotels, you know, putting in great strategies around recruiting best-in-class people and developing them, and then our signature restaurant, destination bar, and our Michelin star, our Galt Milieu, making sure that we have a signature restaurant destination bar strategy, which 2 of my team head up across EMEA to make sure that continues to drive. But how has our approach changed? I think very much around, first of all, being supported with such a talented team. The business is very positive now. We've taken on board a very aggressive social media strategy through Taste of Hilton. If you've got to, I think now in hotel food and drink, you've got to feed the digital appetite to attract the physical appetite.
Absolutely.
And restaurants in the past, they weren't present. You didn't. It was so difficult to find them. You had to know the name of the restaurant. You had to know the hotel, the city, and ultimately, we all know that it's all about bookability. So we've got an aggressive digital strategy that we're working with our loyalty team on. And then finally, something that's very, very close to my heart, and one of the reasons I joined Hilton was food and beverage, or food and drink, and restaurants and bars sits very heavily in our travel with purpose and our ESG. And we've come out with a very, very aggressive, forward-looking strategy around local sustainability, waste management, and we've now got some very, very clear evidence and statistics which are actually being reported today around our work that we're doing on local waste, on local sourcing, specifically in the EMEA region. So I think it's all about repositioning the whole business to really believe that we can. I mean, the vision is to be the best, the biggest and best world-class operator in restaurants and bars. And, that, let's face it, is a mountain to climb. But I would suggest 3 years on, we're at base camp.
Right.
Still got a long way to go.
And your waiters take great pictures now, don't they, as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The waitographers. Thank you for mentioning that. And I'm sorry, but it's absolutely genius, and it wasn't my idea. Okay. So, but I fully supported it and got behind it. I think Nikki will confirm. I think we've got 5,000 waitographers trained across EMEA now. And people thought it was really clever because, you do want, when you go to a restaurant or bar, or you're staying in a great property with a great view, cityscape, beach, resort, you want to get a great photo. And, we all saw the videos and have been through that moment. And it's so stressful for the team member to try and capture the moment. So we train them. But the reality is, and, it's actually cleverer than that. What we are doing is, as Nikki says, we've created an army of content creators. They are generating day in, day out, genuine user-generated content. And we all know that UCG is actually much, much more influential than, Hilton, sort of saying, aren't we great? And we know we have Paris Hilton who says we're great. But if our guests are saying we're great through the waitographers, so it's actually pretty clever.
Amazing.
We're quite proud of that, thanks.
Lloyd, when you're developing an F&B strategy or concept, who are you developing it for? Are you developing it for the owners, or for IHG, or for the in-house guests, or for the local community? Or all of them? And how do you manage that?
It has to be all of them, Dan. It has to be a marriage between all of those key stakeholders. When we sign a new agreement, or we have the opportunity to refurbish a restaurant space, for example, we have to do a full market study. We need to really understand what's going on in that area and what the opportunities are. Once we've got that, then obviously we work a lot alongside the owner and the team on the ground and make sure that we put a solid strategy together. It's about, we need long-standing concepts, so high-value returns, both for the owner and for the community and for the team that work in that hotel. So it has to be a balance, Unfortunately, I can't say one or the other. It has to be a marriage. Everybody plays a major part in that. And yeah, it's that's the...
You mentioned kind of ROIs and returns.
Yeah.
And which leads me on to the final question, because we've only got 5 minutes left. And it goes red in a minute, which is kicks in the anxiety. I don't know if you heard in the news, Patagonia just donated the entire company to charity. Is that part of your No, I'm joking. But the point being is that it raises a good question as to what is beyond the ROI, beyond the RevPAR, beyond the ATV, what is the benefit or the halo effect, I mean, you spoke about earlier, of a F&B within a hotel beyond just the financials? I don't know if you have any thoughts on...
A lot. I spend my life telling anybody who will listen to me about that. Well, first of all, Patagonia, yeah, if anybody follows me on LinkedIn will see that I posted about that the other day, quite incredible. That'll lead the way. Yeah, I think certainly food and drink, experiences, memory makers, feeling a sense of place, connecting is food and drink, restaurants and bars were made for that. Mm-hmm. And you have to create that vibe, that space, that energy, and it's everything. You know, it's not just the concept and the design. Everything starts on the plate. So as hoteliers, you know, we're terrible at just like kind of designing a place and then going, oh, what cuisine are we going to put in here? It has to start from the plate and work out. But, you know, everything has to come into it. Talent, design, space, music, vibe, digital presence. But ultimately, I think guests now, in everything they're looking for, they're also looking for, you know, we say authenticity, but, you know, people are holding big corporations to account as much as governments and as much their own personal responsibility around, you know, caring for the planet. And I think very much food and drink feeds into that very much. I mean, after all, food, the food industry produces a third, that's everything, not just hotels, but the food industry produces a third of the greenhouse gases. The food industry has a big part to play. Sure. And we've got some very strong strategies around that. And one of the parts of our strategy has been actually putting together a proper food and beverage technology strategy in EMEA. So we now have our hotels targeted on implementation of Winnow, Kitchen Cut, 7 rooms for CRM, YQ for e-commerce, and these are technologies that we've put in since COVID to help, because the other thing is food and drink in hotels has often been surrounded by data, but as Nikki says, starved of insight, because we never connected all our systems together, and we never really understood our data around what our hotel guests are doing when it comes to their leisure experiences around food and drink. So I think so much to go for. We could be up here for hours to talk about this.
Certainly could. Certainly could.
Lloyd, your thoughts?
Look, it's not just about experience anymore. Whilst the customer is looking for experiences all of the time, we also need to realise that we have a major part to play in ensuring that we leave the planet in the right way for our children. Journey to Tomorrow program that we have in IHG, 10-year action plan. I haven't been on board very long with IHG, but I'm telling you what, the effort that goes into that plan, the people involved in it. If I told you that I'd already been on 6 global calls, I'd done 2 Journey to Tomorrow trainings, and it's all about the initiatives that we're implementing. And it's right across the board. It's not just about the design and engineering team or the operations. You know, it is across the board. And as restaurants and bars, food and beverage professionals in a company like ours, we have a major part to play. And yeah, water conservation, energy, reusable energy sources, all of these things. There's so many things. Like Emma said, we could be up here all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we have to get involved in these programs today, and small changes today at a local level make a massive change globally.
Perfect. And I think we're almost done. Do we have any questions from the audience? I think we've got time for have I just thrown a curveball to the AV team? Are there any questions? There we go.
Hi, Dan.
Hello.
This is Jason Addison from SIGMAC in Jeddah, and we're looking at, we just signed with IHG for the Indigo, and we'd like to consider what some of the hotels are doing in Europe. We're finding they're bringing franchise brands within the hotel. So have you considered that? So, for example, Radisson Blu has signed up, I understand, 10 Vs.
Yeah.
So
Of course. I didn't actually mention this, but I have a gentleman called Tobias Schultz, who's a Senior Director of Third-Party Business Management for Food and Beverage. So, yeah, in this region, we've recently bought Rocker into Waldorf Astoria. Sushi Samba is going to open up in our Waldorf Astoria Lusail. We're working with Jones the Grocer, McGettigan's, Trader Vic's, Claw, but we're also signed recently some really up-and-coming cool chefs, Sally Abbey in the UK, Anna Ho, Claudio Mellis in Italy. So we don't believe, and certainly with the amount of real estate in the portfolio we have, there's absolutely no chance we can do it all on our own. And my strategy actually has a whole element of around chef partnerships, brand partnerships, restaurant partnerships, because sometimes it's also what the owners want. And in this region, owners, hotel owners and key stakeholders, asset managers are very brand-centric and really, really want us to work and work with those brands. So we really do have a holistic approach to when we program a hotel, we don't have to do it all, and we can certainly bring great brands and great third parties to really leverage and elevate our offering. And we just about to sign a whole load of really interesting concepts in the UK as well. So no, you don't have to do it all your own. You don't have to be the expert of everything. And I have somebody who spends their life working on those relationships and bringing those brands and partners to our owners.
Yeah, we're definitely working hard on partnerships as well, across the board for our hotels. And there's some exceptional talent out there, and there's some independents, there's local talent that across the region have a great opportunity, and if we can give that opportunity to the right operators in the right properties, why not? Let's celebrate that talent. And yeah, partnerships is something that we're working very hard on. And yeah, I look forward to working with you and the rest of your team, and it'll be an exciting future.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your insights. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your attention, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks.
Thank you.